heard a lot about this show, the ex-candidates.
This has been a pretty thorough interview. These institutions which we've been told to respect and trust are actually completely untrustworthy.
Have you confirmed that you are negative before attending tonight if you are unvaccinated?
I still see people with masks on and driving, and they're in the car by themselves.
So you can pay my electricity bill, you thinking little spit.
We're teaching them about what it means to be a pansexual instead of teaching them how to do your taxes.
It's no for me. I say no to the boys.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Ex-Candidates. My name is Stephen Tripp, and as always, I'm joined by Adam Zara, the One Nation candidate for Campbelltown. How are you tonight, Adam?
I'm pretty good, Stephen. How you going, mate?
I'm pretty well, and we're going to do an episode focused on religious freedom tonight. So we've welcomed Michael Andjelkovic, who's going to be a special guest host with us. He's right across this area, so going to get him to run us through it. How are you tonight, Michael?
I'm well, thanks, Steve. And hello, Adam.
G'day, Michael.
Dr. Con Kafataris. How are you tonight, Dr. Con?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Looking forward to speaking to your people.
Yep, definitely. Now, this is an issue that was in the headlines with Israel Folau a few years ago, but it's an issue that never goes away. Nope. Michael, can you give us a bit of an intro and a history of the religious freedom in New South Wales?
So it's actually the religious anti-discrimination legislation for New South Wales. New South Wales is one of only two states that doesn't have protections against religious discrimination. Mark Latham actually brought this up, and let's just take a step back. So it started, things happened for people of faith and Christians and people of faith with the Same-Sex Marriage Act, and we had that plebiscite come through. We had the federal issue with regards to the federal religious freedom legislation, and then at a state level, we've had the religious anti-discrimination legislation put forward by Mark Latham. Now, that was back in 2019. I first heard Mark speak about this at a rally in Fairfield, which was organised by Dr. Kafataris. And from there, it took a step forward. Mark put together the proposed legislation, had the first reading, consulted with numerous faith leaders and religious denominations, held a religious roundtable conference at Parliament House, which I was part of. And the way I got involved was I attended the rally in April and met Dr. Kafataris by attending a couple more meetings. But also I'm of Serbian heritage, and so my religion is Christian, but specifically Serbian Orthodox. So I found that this was going to be of importance to our church, and so I approached the bishop and started providing him with information, and he then asked me to attend meetings on his behalf. So I ended up meeting Dr. Kafataris. Dr. Kafataris was instrumental in the federal religious discrimination legislation and putting together a group of approximately 40 senior faith leaders who approached Scott Morrison about that issue. And then from there, once the New South Wales issue came to be, the lobby group continued on. So once the bill been read and put forward, it went to a joint parliamentary hearing, and there were 14 members on that, made up from, Mark was one of them, chair was Gabriel Upton, so we had Liberal Party, Labor Party, Greens, and obviously One Nation there. It took almost 2 years to do that, to put that legislation through. Had the second reading. The Joint Select Committee had approximately, I think it was 20,000 responses to a survey that they did. They had over 140 written submissions, formal submissions, and 4 days of testimony and hearings in Parliament House, which were held in late October and early November 2020. Myself and Dr. Kafataris were also witnesses at those parliamentary hearings, so everything that we've said is on public record via Hansard. At the end of the day, the Joint Select Committee came forward with a report. They backed it 11 to 3 out of the 14 members. 11 voted for and 3 voted against. And then it went to the upper house and unfortunately got voted down by both Liberal, Labor and the Greens. So the Liberal Party have now said they're going to bring out their own version. The Labor Party have said they're going to bring out their own version. I don't see the necessity of either party needing to bring out a version of their own, because the legislation was already put forward and the bill was a good one and was backed by, the majority of the faith leaders and religious groups, and was backed by the majority of the Joint Select Committee. So why do we need to go through the whole process again? Mark, the Attorney General, the New South Wales Attorney General, has said that they will look at this, the Liberal Party will re-look at this after the federal religious discrimination legislation has been looked into by the current Labor government, who have said that they will take over and redo that legislation. Although after the three versions that have been put out federally, it's basically not worth the paper it's written on. It's been so watered down, it doesn't provide a shield.
Can I provide some background? Because there's some context that needs to also be given. Religious freedom has been an issue that predates the 2019 federal election. Actually it predates same-sex marriage, with some of Margaret Court's views being vilified. So this is something that's gone on for quite some time, and the reason is because there's never really been any. There's nothing in any legislation that talks about people's right to freedom of religion. It's been something that's assumed, and because the country was founded on Christian principles, no one during the time of the Constitution ever thought we would need a right to religious freedom, because no one thought we'd ever have a country that would become effectively godless. Right now, the census results have shown that progressively the country has become less and less religious. So more and more people have been emboldened, and the other thing that's happened over the last 30 or 40 years is anti-discrimination law has become more and more complex, and more has been weaponized more and more by people predominantly of the left. Okay, now possibly from the right as well, but predominantly it's been of the left. And so what started with a good idea, okay, we had race discriminate. You don't want to discriminate against race. Then it became sex added to it. Then age was added to it. Then disability was added to it. Then gender was added. Gender and sex have been sort of a bit conflated now. So now it's gender identity has been added to it, and sexual orientation has been added to it. So all these things now are protected attributes under anti-discrimination law, but never religious belief. Now, same-sex marriage was a bit of a watershed, because a number of MPs warned the then Turnbull government that we needed to have some protection, and you didn't have to be a rocket scientist to work that out. When 5 million people voted no, especially many of them in New South Wales, and many of them, if not most of them, on religious grounds.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. I mean, we started this to give a platform to people. Like, we might not always agree with them 100%. I'm not saying that we don't agree with you, but the point is that you should be able to express your views. That's what freedom of speech is all about, and freedom of religion as well. You should be free to express your religion. So thank you for coming on. You detailed it all very thoroughly. How can I'll put this to you first, Dr. Connor, and then to Michael as well. How can people follow you if they want to follow you on social media? Or you're probably already banned already, but
I'm not very active on social media. people want, you know, because I've been banned from a lot of stuff. So, but people can contact Michael if they want to get in touch with me. Michael and I work closely together. A lot of the stuff that I find I send to Michael. Michael posts. So Michael's a bit like my social media face. Not that he represents me directly, but indirectly, yeah. So I work. So anything, anyone that wants to follow me can follow Michael.
And he's the filter, huh?
Well, he's online and he hasn't been banned yet.
So Michael, how can we find you, mate?
Yes. So I'm on Facebook primarily. I do have a website, which is michaelandjelkovic.com. I've got to update that, but find me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/michael.independent. So you'll find my happy smiling face like the sign behind me on Facebook, and get in touch via messenger that way.
Yep, and Michael's also on my Facebook. He's on my Facebook as well. So you could probably go into my Facebook and look up my friends, and you'll find Michael on there as well. So just in case.
and I'm happy for you to. Sorry, I was just going to say I'm happy for you to provide my email address to people, and if they want to contact me, I'm happy to do that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, go for it if you want to give it out now.
Okay, well, CON as in my name, Con. M for Mary, G for George, P for Peter at outlook.com.
Okay. Awesome. Easy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any closing comments, Michael?
Thank you for the time. No, look, I think on a positive note, I think people of faith are certainly are waking up, and are becoming more aware of the backing that Mark Latham and One Nation have provided them. And hopefully at the March election, that'll be shown in the ballot box, certainly for the upper house, and hopefully also for some of the lower house candidates. And we can hopefully, make some of these seats more winnable and create more margins.
Sorry.
Times ahead,
Last point, but Michael just raised. I just realised. The next federal election is only 2 years away. So running people in the lower house for One Nation creates a platform, raises a profile for the next federal poll. So we shouldn't discount that. Not only do the lower house candidates increase your chances in the upper house, New South Wales, but 2025 is not that far away. Okay, and so it provides an opportunity for whoever runs in the lower house, if they might not win the seat, but that they can just reuse their call flutes, everything for the federal election.
Yep, definitely. So thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Dr. Con. Thank you, Michael. We really appreciate it, expressing your views. And if you've enjoyed this episode, I say it every episode, please share it around, even if you want to share it privately to people that you think might be interested, or people of faith that you think might be interested. And also as well, Adam and I will be heavily involved with the state election coming up. So if you have any religious groups that you think might be interested in speaking to us, we've got our email down the bottom there, info.excandidates@gmail.com. Have a word with us. We might even come out and speak to some religious groups if they're interested. So Absolutely. Thank you again. And,
thank you, guys.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.